Good evening, good evening, good evening. How you doing? This is Coach Carvel Bailey. Welcome to another episode of Lunch and Learn. So we halfway in between lunch and learn and life and basketball. So we just gonna call this happy hour. This is a little bit after lunch, after work. So we gonna call this one the happy hour. Now listen. Please share this. You definitely want to share this because this is going to be one that you do not want to miss. All right. So make sure you share this. And we'll be right back at you in a minute. All right. Make sure you share this. We coming right back. It's Lunch and Learn / Life and Basketball. Happy hour today, y'all. Here we go.
Yo, just so you understand it, this is Coach Carvel Bailey's program with the spirit of Bob Hambry. This is Blessed to Ball, helping athletes, and we represent. Study your craft, your mentality leads to excellence. It's all about your mindset. We'll never stop addressing this, so be positive and not a pessimist. Confidence took James Harden higher. If you really want it, it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna be hard as carbon fiber, but we got you. From counseling to workshops, we do it. You'll go farther with a scholarship. We'll help you get recruited. Yo, anyone can dribble and shoot, but it's the ones who study basketball internally that make it to Duke University. Knowledge goes around. The game is played from the neck up and not from the shoulders down. This is Blessed to Ball, helping you with obstacles. The athletes are the rocket. Blessed to Ball is the rocket fuel. If you hit a wall, we can help you slowly climb it. So keep a Mamba mentality like Kobe Bryant. Blessed to Ball. Cherish the opportunities that you have. Blessed to Ball. Use your mentality to master the craft. Blessed to Ball. Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Blessed to Ball. Cherish the opportunities that you have. Blessed to Ball. Use your mentality to master the craft. Blessed to Ball. Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Yo, Coach Carvel Bailey. Hey, listen to your coach, man. He ain't no scrub off the street. That man got credentials, academic and street. Believe it, and my name is strategic.
Listen, this is a message to all athletes, especially all younger athletes that will return the following season. Don't let your off season catch up to your preseason. Don't let your off season catch up to your preseason. Meaning, if you mess around the whole off season and now preseason is upon you, it's too late. It's too late because you have not improved enough. Enough for what? You haven't improved enough to get more playing time, to get more scholarship offers, to get more looks, or even to be on the team. See, because if you're not as good as somebody younger than you, the coach gonna take the younger person. They got more time to develop them. All right, good day to y'all. All right, I hope you heard what the man said. That and which is the title of today's episode, right? Will the off-season work impress the preseason? Now I'm gonna break this down to y'all before I get off right today. I'm still be with y'all about 15-20 minutes today. All right, but welcome to the show. Let me know what city and state you're learning from. I want to know what city and state you're learning from, how far we're getting this out, who's learning with us, who's really getting the information. All right, if y'all can hear me, just drop a 1 in the chat. I just want to make sure that everybody can hear me. If you can hear me, just drop a 1 so I know that that you can hear me before I get in the kitchen and start cooking. All right. So here we go. welcome. All right, welcome to season 6, episode 1. All right, typically lunch and learn. All right, typically I'll do this around my lunchtime, but I have some things to do, and I want to get before you today. So again, will off-season work impress the preseason? Here's what I mean. If you got paper and pen, please take notes because you are going to need it. Take notes. You're going to need it. All right. So with the season starting tomorrow, October the 1st, the basketball season starts for majority of college basketball. Basketball season starts October 1st for majority of college basketball. I'm talking junior college, right? Most Division threes, NAIAs start about a week into October. But basketball season officially starts October 1. So that's tomorrow. Now, how apropos is that? Because tomorrow, October 1st, in the business sector is actually the fourth quarter. So in the business sector is the fourth quarter. And that's when companies really start to, they want to get their books from red to green, right? Which is why, and from black to green, which is why they call it Black Friday, right? Because they're trying to get more revenue in so that they can show a profit at the end of the year because they've been in the red for majority of the year. So just like with basketball, season starting October 1st, which is actually the start of the fourth quarter, right? Teams, companies, the same way, are starting to get their books in order, getting their affairs in order to be able to close the year out in fashion and in style. And so when I say, when I talk about will the off-season work impress the preseason, here's what I'm talking about. Typically, you have 6 to 7 different seasons throughout the year. Can anybody name what those seasons are? Drop them in the chat. Let me see, right? We're going to go slow tonight. I got about 15 minutes or so. But I want this to be interactive, right? Because if you on here and you're really not interacting, you're probably not going to get what you need, right? And how you going to learn, right? You're going to let somebody else learn for you? You're going to let somebody else learn for your athlete? All right. So do you know what the seasons are when we talk about basketball? Like we know it's winter, spring, summer, fall. But do you know that there's multiple seasons throughout the basketball year? And if you don't, right, if we got some shy people out here, right, and you here to learn, so I don't mind teaching, but I do like a little engagement, all right? But first things first, everybody understands what the off season is. The off season is when you're not playing, when your season is not going on. So when the title says, will the offseason impress the preseason? Those are two different time periods throughout the basketball calendar year. So typically we have the regular season. People know that we have the regular season. And then we have typically the off season. So it's kind of in season, off season. That's what most parents are aware of, in season, off season. However, you have the off season. That's the time to develop. The off season is the most important time to develop because that's when you gain your advantage, because you have all day to improve yourself, improve your game. So the very first season is what we're in now, which ends today for college basketball, the off season. And then tomorrow, the official first day of the basketball season, we go to the second season of the year, which is called the preseason. Now, the preseason is when you get in condition. Preseason is when you learn, right, who you have on your team. Players learn other players. Coaches learn players, players learn coaches. But in the preseason, this is when you really start to put the team concept into play. Get everybody in shape, right? You play some scrimmages, all those things. By the way, right, our third annual Coach Carvel Bailey's JUCO Jamboree is happening October 12th. 2 Sundays from now, October 12th, 2025, at South Suburban College. We got 6 amazing teams coming from 3 different states. All right, it's going to be 9 games of full action-packed basketball. This is the preseason. This is what junior colleges do in the preseason. They get themselves together, see what they have, right? See how their team makeup is going to be. So in the preseason, you may play some scrimmages. You may even play some teams that you won't see during the regular season. Pay attention. That will help you throughout. So the first season we have is the off season. That's when no games going on, nothing. That's typically summer. Then we have the preseason, right? We have the preseason. Now, the preseason may last anywhere between, I would say, 6 weeks and 12 weeks. Anywhere between 6 and 12 weeks, you got the preseason, right? Then after the preseason, now you have the regular season. Now, the regular season is when all bets are off, right? The regular season is when all bets are off. You had your preseason, you've had your conditioning, 0-0. That's the record, right? We're competing for a national championship. On a high school level, we're competing for a state championship. The regular season is time to get money. The records are 0-0. So now the regular season is when all those games, and pardon me for saying this, mean something. Now the preseason means a lot. The offseason means even more. But the regular season means a lot. Because the regular season is what counts. The regular season. Is your team 2-8? Is your team 8-2? Is your team 4-9? Right? What's the season record? So I worked with Tennessee State basketball team last year. I've shown the video now, right? Coach Penny. So that was last year. He's off to Memphis Grizzlies as assistant, right? Shout out Coach P. But they were 4-9 when we started working with them. 4-9 during the regular season. Right? And so that's the regular, that counts. Those type of records get coaches fired or get coaches extensions. The regular season does, right? Now, the regular season, when the coach finds out who they can play here, who they can play together, who they can't play together, what they can do, how they can do it. But then part of the regular season breaks off into season number 4. So the first season we got is the off season. The second season we got the preseason. Third season we got is the regular season. But the fourth season we got is the first round of conference. See, because you play your regular season games. You may have your preseason games, 2 or 3 exhibitions. Then you start playing games. You may play 5 or 6 regular games. Then you get into conference. Conference is where heads get swollen, bones get broken, dreams become realities in conference, right? So now you got the fourth part of the season, the fourth season, which is the first round of conference. Now, hear me what I'm saying. The first round is where you're getting to know your conference opponents, your conference rivals, laying it all on the table, mano a mano. The first round of conference really goes back to the preseason. How did you all do in the preseason to prepare you for the first round of conference? Well, now the fifth season is when coaches really start to make adjustments. Here's where you tell who the great coaches are. because the fifth season is now the second round of conference. Now, the second round of conference, that's what really matters, because if there's a tie, a discrepancy in who wins the conference, they look at head-to-head competition. And now when they look at head-to-head competition, they don't look at the first round of conference. So if I play your team and your team beats me the first round of conference, but then the second round of conference, which is the fifth season, we beat you. If we happen to tie, we get the tiebreaker because we beat you second round of conference. That's more important than the first round of conference, because the first round of conference, we just set it all out there and we just said, let's just see where the chips lay. Well, now we've had a chance to see each other, and who's going to be the better coach to make the adjustment that can show the second round of conference. Like, I hope that's making sense to y'all. So now we're in the fifth part of the season, because most players, right, again, in season, off season, in season, off season. So they think in season, which is really the off season, right? Or like in season, off season. So they understand off season as like they're thinking not in season or preseason. But you got off season, preseason, regular season, first round of conference, second round of conference. And now we only in January. We're only in January, late January, early February, and we've been through 5 parts of the season. And now here comes part 6. Now you got the playoffs. Now you have the playoffs. Well, in some areas, everybody make the playoffs. But in a lot of basketball nowadays, it's a lot of participation trophies. And a lot of teams, everybody may make the playoffs from a certain conference. Right? Everybody may have a shot. Depending on how big the conference is, everybody may have a shot to get into the playoffs. Well, guess what happens when you get into the playoffs? Records are back 0-0. Nothing mattered. The regular season doesn't matter come playoff time. First round, second round of conference doesn't matter come playoff time. If anything mattered come playoff time, is the preseason. Because the preseason is where habits were built. The preseason is where foundations were laid. Some people thought I was going to say the offseason, but the offseason prepares you for the preseason. But once we get to the playoffs, it's 0-0. Anybody can win. That's why they call it Cinderella. But then after that 6th part of the season, playoffs, now we get to the 7th and final part of the basketball year, the postseason. Now, I know some of y'all might be like, well, the playoffs and the postseason, same thing. Well, it's not in all cases, because I just shared with you, sometimes everybody makes the playoffs. And especially if we're talking college basketball, JUCO basketball, everybody may make the playoffs, the regional playoffs. But everybody don't go to nationals. That's the postseason, baby. That's after the season is over. You lose that playoff game, your season is over. Ended. Good year. I would tell my players, I don't want to see nobody crying in the locker room. You should have cried during the preseason. Don't cry after your last game. So a lot of people may make the playoffs, but they don't go to the postseason. That's after the season is over, after that playoff loss. Now you going where the last 8 are. You going where the last 16 are. And then if you happen to go further and you get to the Final Four, that's the 8th season. Because now you're in a class by yourself. The semifinals. Semifinals is the Final Four. It's just another word for it. But you get to the semifinals, that's a whole nother season. And then the championship. So rightfully so, we can say it's 9 different stages or seasons in a basketball year. Most athletes only think it's 2. That's why. So can you see an athlete who only thinks that is in season and off season, and they think that off season, they have all off season to prepare for in season, and then they think once they get in season, they'll be good enough to prepare and compete against somebody who's been competing all off season? I don't think that'll work. And here's the harsh reality. All right, my parents that's listening, my athletes that's listening, or even my coaches that's listening, right? Like, tell the truth. Let's be honest. Most players aren't improving their game during the regular season. Let's be honest. Most players' games aren't improving during the regular season because during the regular season, coaches are focused on team concepts, scouting, getting ready for another game play. So most coaches aren't running their practices that's player developed focused. Most coaches aren't running their practices to where their players are getting player development while doing the drills to help them learn the nuances of the plays that they're running. So most players are just being told what to do as opposed to being shown how to play. They're being told what to do, not being shown how to play. So during the regular season, I don't care on what level you go, they're not getting the player development. That's why you see great players, NBA and standout college players, overseas professionals. That's why they have coaches, private coaches, trainers, right? And I mean like team trainer, like medical trainer, team manager, assistant coaches, private coaches. This is why they have all these added resources so that they can do that in addition to the practices that they have to go to. That's why some players will be in the gym 3 hours after practice because practice didn't exert a lot of energy. So they may not be in shape come games, come season, preseason, in season. That's why I said the preseason matters, right? Because what did they do to prepare themselves for the playoffs or the postseason? What did they do to prepare themselves? Because all they've been really working on is plays. So if your athlete is only worried about in season and off season, and they haven't strategically broken these seasons down into these different chapters and factors, how can they get ahead of the competition? But more so, think about if your athlete is able to be aware of what I just shared tonight, and they're able to capitalize on all of those different times throughout the year, they'll catch most of their peers. They'll pass most of their peers. And majority of their peers will never be able to catch them ever again. Based off this simple formula that I just gave you all. But hey, I hope it makes sense when I say will the off season be appreciative of what your athlete has given in the preseason? The offseason gonna talk to the preseason. The preseason gonna know what your athlete did in the offseason based on how they show up, how they perform. Right? So will the offseason work impress the preseason? This is what you need to ask your athlete. What have you done in the offseason? Because it's time now. It's time. And high school basketball will be starting pretty soon. All right. But listen, in terms of exposure, right? A couple quick things, quick housekeeping things. Again, our JUCO Jamboree is October the 12th. All right. October the 12th, South Suburban. All right. And I will say that we have some of the best competition this side of the Mississippi. All right. This is our third year doing it. And I actually think some teams may be scared to come play because we don't play on the side courts where they can cheat. You know, again, you got to be in shape, right? And we don't go to first weekend, right? So there's some jamborees this weekend. Season's starting tonight for most teams. They got Midnight Madness, right? The good teams. Well, they got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and some teams go play Saturday, some teams go play Sunday. I don't know if a lot of teams be prepared for that. I didn't like putting my teams in like 3 days after the season started. So we go week 2, right? So you should have a lot of your stuff in and be ready. And we play on the main court, right? We play on the main court. On the main court. All right. So check it out. All right. Let me go here, right? The best jamboree on this side of the Mississippi. We got 6 powerhouse programs from 3 different states. One epic day of basketball. We got South Suburban College, right? They'll be in their building for the 3rd year in a row. We got Prairie State College. We have Trotter Prep, Prairie State College from Chicago Heights right down the street, all right? We got Trotter Prep coming from Oklahoma, all right? We got a team coming from Oklahoma all the way out here to get the smoke. And then we got CBG Prep. Now, this is their 3rd year, just like South Suburban, just like Prairie State. We appreciate them. This is their 3rd year in the Jamboree. Last year, they knocked off South Suburban, which was a huge upset. First game in their building. All right. Then we got Shy Prep, right? My guy, Marcus. All right. Been knowing him for about 20-some years during our UIC days, right? Marcus Spencer. They are bringing Shy Prep to the Jamboree. All right. You definitely want to make it. Shy Prep is doing some big things. All right. Plus, you might see Scottie Pippen in the building. All right. You may see Pip in the building. And then we got Governor State University, their JV team, right? Coming in. So listen, we got prep schools, we got JUCOs, and we got 4-year schools. So see, we the only ones that's doing this, that's allowing for teams and coaches to really be able to see, and for players to really be able to see, where does your athlete really match up? Where does your athlete really match up? Are they really a prep school player? Are they really not yet developed? They need a little bit more sauce. Or are they ready for the JUCO level, right? They just maybe don't have enough looks, but they're ready for the college level right after high school, right? The prep guys, they may need that year to get themselves together. But JUCO, they ready. They just was missing something why they needed to go JUCO. But then you got the 4-year school. People that they don't want to go JUCO, they want to go immediately to a university. But a lot of those universities have JV teams. But those JV teams may be and should be a little bit better than some of those JUCO teams because, again, those are somewhat maybe older players, possibly, but they're playing against older players, right? And they're playing in a different league. So we got 6 teams from 3 states and what? No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different leagues. 6 teams, 5 different leagues, 3 different states. They all gonna be under one roof. 6 teams. We got 6 teams from 5 different leagues, 3 different states, gonna be under one roof. October 12th. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. 3rd annual Coach Carvel Bailey's JUCO Jamboree. You don't want to miss it. And at high noon, baby, high noon. We got the matchup of matchups. At high noon. We got South Suburban playing Prairie State, right? We're going to get this in. Preseason. Because y'all do know they meet in the regular season, as always. And it be packed because it's a battle of the South Suburbs. And I heard Prairie State is loaded this year. And here's the beautiful thing. We hosting in the South Suburbs, and majority of the players from South Suburban and Prairie State from the South Suburbs. Oh, it's going to be epic. We was trying to get the women, but we just couldn't get the women, right? We're trying to get the women. I ain't going to go in on some of the coaches, right? But we just couldn't get the women. I'll just leave it at that. All right. Coaches do better. All right. Coaches do better. Your players need it. All right. But I got 3 great coaches that I reached out to. All right. 3 great coaches, and they was going to do all they could to make it happen for us. But one of those great coaches just couldn't do it, right? And I knew it was going to be difficult, but we were looking for a couple other coaches, and it didn't happen, right? But we coming with the men, and it's going to be awesome and epic again this year. October 12th, $15 day passes, right? But we'll have team discounts too. Coaches, this is where you want to bring your team. Hear me closely. This is where you want to bring your basketball team. It's a Sunday. We're not doing it on Monday this year, even though Mondays, high schools are off. And for 2 years, y'all ain't been there, right? Get your players some exposure when it's not benefiting you. I'm gonna hurt some people's feelings, right? But y'all want to get players exposure during the summer, right? When you getting paid, if it's under the table, above the table, whatever that may be, to take players here, there, you get a free vacation, all that. If it's right in your backyard, if it's close, if it's local, expose your players, not to the coaches, but expose them to what basketball looks like, as I always say, on that lowest college level. This could be a team bonding, team building experience that could get your team from the bottom of the barrel to the penthouse. Or if y'all already on the balcony, it can still get you to the penthouse. Again, that Tennessee State team during the regular season, they was 4-9. They went into the they were already in the they were 4-9. They went into conference first round of playoffs. I think they had a 3-game win streak. They went into the second round of playoffs. They was 2 games from 500. Right? Or first round of conference. Right? Second round of conference, they were like 2 games off. So they went from like a 3-game win streak, first round of conference, then like a 5-game win streak, second round of conference. Then they went into the playoffs. Now they went into the playoffs and they made it to the semifinals of their conference playoffs. Right? I said that's a whole nother thing, right? They lost by 1 point. They were 4-9 when I started working with them, right? And Coach Penny and his staff did an amazing job, and they finished 17-16. Now, remember I said that 4-9, that regular season record, that's going to get you fired or get you a contract extension. Well, they went from 4-9 to finishing 17-16. He's now an assistant NBA coach because of where they were during the regular season. And then the first round of conference, the second round of conference, and then they went into playoffs. And they just kept winning and getting better and winning and getting better and winning and getting better. And they wound up finishing the year from 4-9 to 17-16, a winning record. So this whole season turned around. Not just because they had me, because the coaches did what they did. But as someone who was coaching the coach, I understood it was 7 to 8 seasons. And I understood as long as we stay on this path, we're going to catch them by playoff time. And they called them. They just lost by 1 point. They ran out of time. But what I'm saying to you high school coaches, bring your team. It's an amazing event so your team can see how the game is played, the competitiveness, right, at that level. Bring your team. I'd love to see y'all. All right. That's about it. That's all I got for y'all. I ain't going to stay with you too long. I got to go. All right. Just remember. All right. Make sure October 12th, you're there. Always remember, keep striving and keep climbing for the top because it's crowded as hell at the bottom. Y'all be good.
Yo, just so you understand it, this is Coach Carvel Bailey's program with the spirit of Bob Hambry. This is Bless the Ball, helping athletes, and we represent. Study your craft, your mentality leads to excellence. It's all about your mindset. We'll never stop addressing this, so be positive and not a pessimist. Confidence took James Harden higher. If you really want it, it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna be hard as carbon fiber, but we got you. From counseling to workshops, we do it. You'll go farther with a scholarship. We'll help you get recruited. Yo, anyone can dribble and shoot, but it's the ones who study basketball internally that make it to Duke University. Knowledge goes around. The game is played from the neck up and not from the shoulders down. This is Bless the Ball, helping you with obstacles. The athletes are the rocket. Bless the Ball is the rocket fuel. If you hit a wall, we can help you slowly climb it. So keep a Mamba mentality like Kobe Bryant. Bless the Ball. Cherish the opportunities that you have. Bless the Ball. Use your mentality to master the craft. Bless the Ball. Come join our team. It's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Bless the Ball. Cherish the opportunities that you have. Bless the Ball. Use your mentality to master the craft. Bless the Ball. Come join our team. It's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Yo, Coach Carvel Bailey. Hey, listen to your coach, man. He ain't no scrub off the street. That man got credentials, academic and street. Believe it. And my name is Strategic.